Hello and welcome to the Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference pre-conference broadcast series on One Concept Radio. I'm Felicia Brown and I'll be your host for this interview and series. This is one of several broadcasts with the presenters and experts who are appearing in Niagara Falls, Ontario, October 12th through 14th, 2012, and who are brought to you by One Concept. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the 2012 Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference sponsors, the Vitality Depot, Lackner McClellan Insurance, New York Chiropractic College, the Registered Massage Therapists Association of Ontario, Massage Therapy Canada and Canadian Chiropractor magazines, Biotone, Massage Warehouse, Bon Vital, MPA Media, Family Massage Therapy, the DCCE, Performance Health, and Smile Dog Remote Reception Services for making this year's event possible. Our special guest today is Laura Allen. Laura and I will be talking about her class, The Educated Heart. But first, let me tell you a little about Laura. Laura Allen is a massage therapist, author, educator, and blogger. She owns Therasage, a multidisciplinary clinic offering chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, and aesthetics, and it's also a continuing education facility. Laura lives with her husband, Champ, and their furry dog child, Smokey Bear, in the mountains of western North Carolina. Laura, welcome to the Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference pre-conference broadcast series. I so appreciate you making time to talk with me about the event and, of course, about your class, The Educated Heart.
Well, thank you, Felicia. I'm excited to be here, excited to be participating in the conference.
It's going to be a great event. Now, before we discuss your class, Laura, I'd like to hear your thoughts on why attending educational conferences and trade shows is important to the success of all healing arts professionals.
Well, I could probably take up the whole interview with talking about that. You and I are constantly running into each other at shows and conferences, and I do think it's important. The networking alone is totally invaluable for meeting up with other professionals and other authors and other speakers and other educators and just our colleagues, in the world of massage therapy. And so networking opportunities, the education that you get there's always just a big variety of classes at these national conventions and conferences, and so you have a big smorgasbord of things to choose from. There's always something that suits everybody. And the other thing is, getting into the vendor hall and seeing all of the products that that we see on the internet or read about in the magazine or something like that, and you think, well, I wish I could just try that out before I spend the money on it. And so this is a great way to do that. There are always a lot of great exhibitors participating wherever we go, and it is a great thing to be able to try things out. And you always get a goodie bag full of samples and all that, and all the socializing that goes on at these events. We always have a big Facebook party, and people eat and greet and meet together, and so it's just there's a lot of reasons to go, and I really enjoy attending these. And they're all tax deductible. If you go to one of these events, that's part of your professional development. So it is a tax deduction, and it's always a good thing to get out of the office for a few days and be with your colleagues.
Well, no doubt that the new location in Niagara Falls is going to lend itself to lots of fun activities. I know the hotel itself is beautiful. It has a casino in it, which I think, that could be fun and dangerous.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Sure does. But Niagara Falls in Ontario is absolutely beautiful. Lots of things to do around the hotel and plenty to do inside the conference itself. So we're so glad that you're going to be there.
Oh, it is a beautiful setting. I went to Niagara Falls. I've been married for almost 20 years, and my husband and I went there. In fact, it might have been the year before we got married, and it was just I was totally struck by just the beauty that's everywhere. up there, not just at the falls, but Canada is a big place, and it has the best of everything. It has the deep forest and the big city, and the mountains and the coast and everything in between. So just a beautiful, beautiful place, and I know people will enjoy Niagara Falls. I certainly did when I was there, and I'm looking forward to going back after all these years.
Fantastic. Well, Laura, let's talk about your class. I'm curious if you could share with us what it is exactly about the educated heart that makes it different from other professional ethics classes.
Well, a lot of ethics classes tend to focus on the boundaries that of the client. And the educated heart, of course, does touch on that, because any ethics book would be obligated to. But this class really has a big focus on why we need to maintain our own boundaries in order to protect ourselves, protect our income, protect our mental health. And I think that is what makes it stand out. It's just an excellent class that has a big focus on that. So I really like to teach that class and see the light go on in therapists' heads of, I haven't really considered myself very much. Massage therapists are caretakers, and a lot of times they only consider the client, and they really don't stop to take care of themselves. So this is all about that, and I've been teaching from this for a long time, and I think it's just an excellent class.
I wonder if you could elaborate a little bit and just give an example of a type of boundary that professional therapists might not have considered setting for themselves, or that you explore a little bit.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have thought about this, but for example, the biggest one coming to my mind is do you have a cancellation policy? Now, the first year that I was in business, I did not have a cancellation policy, and at the end of the year, I sat down and counted up how much money had fallen through the cracks there. At that time, I only had myself and one other therapist in my business, and we had lost $8,000.
Wow.
From people, not showing up or canceling at the last minute when you didn't have enough time to give that appointment away to someone else. And so when I saw it was $8,000, I just went, well, doggone, that's a European vacation. So I implemented a cancellation policy, and it's has certainly made a big difference. There are a lot of other boundaries. I have to keep my home telephone number unlisted, because I found that when I first got into business, and my business cards don't have my home phone number on. They have my business number, of course, and my brochures and my cards are all over town with and my website, is out there. And so I found that people would still call me at home. They would apparently just look in the phone book and get my number and call, asking me about appointments and asking me things about massage and all that. And I normally spend 12, 13, 14 hours a day in my office to begin with, and when I get home, I want that to be my sacred time of doing whatever it is I do. If it's doing nothing but taking a nap, that you need to have some space and time that is all your own. And so I would be polite to people when they called, and I would say, well, I'm sorry, my appointment book is down at the office, and I really can't tell you from here whether or not I have an appointment available at that time. And so finally I just changed my number and made it unpublished so that wouldn't happen to me. I have a long list of boundaries, and in the Educated Heart, as a matter of fact, that's such a fun class. There are about 20 short little videos that I'll be showing during that class that are all about our boundaries, and then we want to get a lot of input from the class on how do particular people handle these particular situations. So lots of good fun things that will happen in that class and bring these boundary issues to light.
Well, those are some great examples. And, I'd forgotten about the home phone calls, but it seems to me that when I was first in practice, I had that happen to me a few times as well. And now it's been so long since I've really even utilized a home phone. I have one,
yeah.
but I don't give that number out to anybody. In fact, it's not listed either, so I don't run into that issue anymore. But I'd forgotten about that being a problem, and that's certainly an interesting thing to consider.
Yeah. Actually, Nina McIntosh, who is the author of The Educated Heart, and she has passed away now. She died in 2010. But one of the funniest things I ever heard from her, and I'm pretty sure she repeats this story in the book, but she said it was her birthday, and she had intended to take the day off. And Nina lived in Asheville, North Carolina, for about 10 years before she passed, and she wanted to go visit the Biltmore House, which is very famous. It's actually the largest private residence in the United States. It's got some ridiculous, like 265 rooms or something. So Nina had planned to take herself there for her birthday, and she stopped by her office for a moment to pick something up, and the phone rang, and it was someone wanting to get in for an appointment, and she let her wheedled into that. And of course she's, thinking, well, I can give the massage and still be at the Biltmore House by noon and whatever. And so when the person came out from the massage, she asked them how they felt now, and they kind of rudely told her that they were still in pain, and furthermore, they had forgotten their money that they would have to send it to the operator. And she never received it. And, she said, well, let this just be a big lesson to me. I shouldn't have let myself be talked into something that I didn't want to do, and this is just a big life lesson for me of these things turn out badly most of the time when we let ourselves be talked into something that we truly don't want to do. So, I say whatever is sacred to you. If you want to be home at 6 p.m. every evening to have dinner with your family or whatever, then don't let clients guilt you, by saying, oh, well, that's the only time I could come, because that's not the only time I could come. You need to stand your ground. And so this class is going to give you all kinds of tips for, professionally and politely maintaining your boundaries. And we'll go over what to say to people, and how to just lay down the line without being insulting or rude to people about it.
Well, I think that's something we can all use. And
absolutely.
Certainly, I've had plenty of experiences, particularly in my early days, just like what happened to Nina, where someone would say, oh, can't you just see one client today? Or just see me, and it never worked out that way. The next thing I know, I'd have a full day of clients, and what I had planned for myself just evaporated.
Oh, yes. Well, one of my staff members, the first day on the job, she said to me that she would like to take Thursdays off, and was that okay? And I said, that's fine. And so, I really didn't give it much more thought, and then I got to noticing that every single week she was there on Thursday, and finally I said, why are you coming in on Thursday? I thought it was going to be your day off. And she said, well, I've got these people, and that's the only time they could come. And I said, oh, no, it isn't. I said, the day that you say to them firmly, Thursday is my day off, and I don't work on Thursday, I said, I can, bet you $100 that they'll find another time that they can come. And so sure enough, after months and months and months of letting herself be talked into this, she finally did firmly lay down the law and say, well, Thursday's my day off. I just don't work on Thursday. And she didn't lose a single client. Of course, they all found some other time that they could come.
Of course. Of course. And we've all experienced that probably on the other side of the coin where we thought there was only one time we could come and we made it happen. So why are our clients any different?
Well, that's the truth.
So now you've mentioned the book, The Educated Heart, by Nina McIntosh. Could you share a little bit of the history of how the book has influenced your own practice?
Yes. It was just a wake-up call to me when I read that, because of all the numerous situations that Nina goes over in there that, make a difference in the way you run your business and the relationships that you have with clients. So, I actually taught ethics. I mean, I've been teaching ethics for years, and I actually taught it to my own class in massage school. Now, at the time, this was not the book that I used. And I met Nina, I believe it was 2005 or 2006, and got a copy of her book. And, I just wanted to smack myself upside the head for not considering some of these things before, about the boundaries and about how important it is. Yes, we have to safeguard our clients. We have to run an honest, open, therapeutic relationship with people, and we have to respect their boundaries as far as, their draping and their informed consent and their right of refusal and all this other stuff. But then there are so many other things that truly are about us and about the actions that we take, in response to something that the client has done or said, or in response to a situation that just might arise. So it immediately changed some of my policies. I'm a big believer in having policies and procedures at work, and even if you're a lone practitioner, you may think, oh, well, it's just me. I don't need any policies. But yes, you do need some policies because you want to always treat people fairly, and you need to treat people the same. And when you find yourself making exceptions for people, that's usually a red flag that you have allowed yourself to cross that line into a dual relationship with someone, or to think, well, this person's more important than that person, or this person's a family member, or whatever it is. And so this is, to me, it just said, well, here's what you need to do, and here's what you need to do with everybody. Mm-hmm. So it has definitely made a big influence in my own practice, and also totally in the way that I teach ethics.
Well, I know you and I just taught a class together it was a week or so ago when we just taught a class together. And out of being with that group of people, I know I got the benefit of hearing about ethical issues that people were considering and that they had grappled with that were in our class. What do you find are some of the most common ethical dilemmas you encounter from therapists that are taking your classes, or maybe that you personally encounter? You've talked about some of them, the cancellation policy and the trying to get people to work on their day off, but what are some other things that come to mind?
Well, I've been exposed to a lot of them because I also served for 5 years on our state board, and unfortunately had to sit through about 50 disciplinary hearings while I was on the board. And nearly everyone that winds up in front of the board winds up there because of some ethical violation. And so therapist acting inappropriately, or being accused of acting inappropriately, because I think that sometimes it's not that the therapist intended to say or do something that was inappropriate. But, there's a lot of people out there that have poor communication skills, and they're just not communicating clearly with their client. And so, the client, something is said or done that makes the client feel uncomfortable, right. And that could just be, an area that they're touched in, or a poor choice of words that the therapist used or whatever. And so, the most common ethical dilemma that I hear about all the time, unfortunately, usually involves sex. A client asked me for this or that, and I was taken aback, and I didn't know what to say. And so, after you've been around for a while, and more or less an old hand, then you've likely encountered these things before, and you may definitely have more skill at handling these things than a therapist who is brand new and has, is being confronted with something for the first time. And so, over and above the sexual things, if you're selling products, that automatically puts you in a dual relationship with your client. You become a retailer and you become the massage therapist. So I don't think there's anything wrong at all with retailing products. It's wrong if you try to pressure a client into purchasing something. And so one thing that I hear sometimes from therapists who are employed in spas or resorts or on a cruise ship or whatever, they say, I'm pressured to meet these sales quotas selling products, and I feel uncomfortable about doing that with clients and, you know, insisting that people buy something. How can I handle this? And usually, I guess the way you have to handle it is find a job where you're not expected to do that.
Right.
But there are just many things that pop up over the course of the day of things that we're all confronted with of client situations, and you know, this class and this book is full of good, effective ways to handle those things.
Well, I know that it will be jam-packed with information for sure. I hope I can sneak in and be a part of it. I don't know when our classes are, if they're dueling, opposite of each other. But,
we've had dueling classes before.
I know. Hopefully I can make it in there at least for part of it. And if I do or if I don't, I know that you have some goals for the students that are attending. What is it that you hope attendees are going to take away from your class?
Well, I hope that they'll feel empowered, and I hope that they'll go back to the office and, maybe make a little list of ethical situations that they may have faced in the past and to revisit the way that they handled those things and to say, well, now do I have a tool that, that I could handle that in a better way? And also for some people, particularly if they're newly practicing, then they may not have been faced with any of these issues before. And so hopefully that this will give them some tools that the first time something does occur, instead of standing there going, oh, Lord, what do I say or do now, that they'll have some idea of what it is they need to say or do in order to handle the situation. Now, the primary goal is to avoid situations happening. But sometimes in spite of our best efforts, they'll happen anyway. We don't have any control over it if a client, calls a potential client, or someone cruising for the wrong type of massage. We don't have any control over it if someone calls our office asking funny questions. But what we have is control over the way we react to that. You can get mad and just hang up on the person. Or you can take the opportunity to educate them and say, oh, I'm sorry, all we do is therapeutic massage here. We don't do that other type. And hang up. Now, there may come a point in time when that person actually needs a therapeutic massage. And they may remember that you were a professional massage therapist and not one of those other types of people. So I just hope that students do learn some new tricks about handling things in this class.
Prevention is the best medicine.
Yes, it is.
Now, Laura, you're also teaching a marketing class at the conference, and I know I've heard you say before that you really like to teach ethics and marketing together. Why is that?
I do. I love to do that combination of classes just because I think if you are an unethical practitioner, you can market yourself till the cows come home, and you're not going to be successful. I do believe that you must be an ethical practitioner in order to have that business success and in order to market yourself in an ethical manner and conduct your practice in an ethical manner. So my little marketing class, which is one of the shorter classes, is called 1 Year to a Successful Massage Therapy Practice. And it's based on all the low cost and no cost ways that I had to market myself when I first opened my own practice, because I didn't have enough money to take out an ad in one big city newspaper, and so I had to be very creative at the ways that I used what little bit of money I had, and also at the ways that I found that that didn't cost any money. It took some time and effort on my part. But things that I could do that didn't cost me anything in order to get my name and my face and that of my practice out there before the public. So I do think these marketing and ethics classes go very well to complement each other, just because I think you have to be an ethical practitioner in order to be successful in massage.
I definitely agree with you on that. Laura, do you have any other general suggestions for people who are listening that maybe are experiencing ethical challenges in their practice and maybe they're not going to be able to come to the class and go through all of this information with you live?
Well, the book is out there for sale, The Educated Heart, by Nina McIntosh, and it's available on Amazon and every other bookseller on the internet. But also, I would have to say the big thing is get a mentor, get someone, find a colleague who has been in the business longer than you, who's been practicing longer than you, who has had more time and more experience at dealing with these things. Now, you know, I have mentored many massage therapists, and I know that you have too. But that doesn't mean that we don't have mentors of our own. and I do have people who have been at it for, 20 years longer than I have, that I can call up and say, well, you just won't believe what happened today. What do you think I should have done about this? Or any other problem that I'm faced with. It is very good to have someone who does what you do, who can relate to the problems that you have. That's another reason that I enjoy going to these conferences. There is something very awesome about being in a crowd of a couple thousand people who do what you do. They get it. They know what you do. They know what you're faced with, and they know the rewards of it, and they know the struggles that you have. So that's another great reason to go to any conference that you can, just for that reason alone. But I do think that's one of the most important things you can do is to have a mentor and someone that you can turn to and bounce ideas off of and have the benefit of their sage advice.
I totally agree with you on that, and I'm so thankful to have mentors. I know I've probably called you myself.
Well, I've called you. I mean, we all need somebody we can pick up the phone and call.
Most definitely. Laura, how can people get in touch with you and find out more information about the books you've written and the classes you offer and so forth?
My personal website is lauraallenmt.com, and on that website I have my blog where I generally write about the politics and regulation of massage. I also have a bunch of free business advice videos, little short videos that I've made giving business advice. On there I have a big listing of blogs by other massage therapists and just all kind of info on there. Then I have my other business website, which is www.therasage.com. That's THERA-SSAGE.com. That is my business website, and my classes are listed on there that take place at my continuing education facility now, my Laura Allen website, and that just reminds me I need to update those, has the listings of classes that I'm teaching elsewhere in and out of the country. And I'm also on Facebook. I'm Laura Allen MT. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Laura Allen MT. I'm on Twitter. I'm Laura Allen MT. So if you just type in Laura Allen MT, you'll get to me somehow. And I would I probably have I don't know, a couple of thousand massage therapists on my Facebook, and I'm happy to have anyone there. So please feel free to look me up on Facebook.
Well, I'm sure after listening to this interview, everyone out there is ready to come to the conference and register for your class, The Educated Heart. Laura, I really want to thank you for taking the time to be with us ahead of the conference for this interview, and, of course, for being a part of the 2012 Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference. We're really looking forward to having you at this year's event.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming, and I'm going to bring a few things to give away. I'm going to bring a copy of a few of my books, a few copies of some of my books. And, I have a thing about collecting business cards from other massage therapists everywhere I go. So in my class, if you will share your business card with me, I'm going to put those in a little jar and draw some out, and some of the folks in my class will have the opportunity to win some of my signed copy of some of my books.
Well, that's an awesome reason to come all alone, if not for all the great information. And I want to just transition here now, Laura, and make sure that everyone listening knows exactly how to register for the conference and be a part of this fantastic event. The Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference is one of the largest exhibitions of massage and chiropractic products, continuing education, and business opportunities for practitioners of both disciplines. The registration cost for the conference is just $68 and includes admission to the Trade Hall floor for all 3 days, which of course houses over 100 vendor booths and tables, access to all of the free 1-hour presentations for both chiropractic and massage, and 1 lunch voucher during the conference. Attendees can also choose to add additional workshops and full-day classes to their experience and participate in raffles and giveaways of literally thousands of dollars in prizes. On Sunday, October 14th, we're offering free admission to registered students. Students will be greeted at 10 a.m. at our Smart from the Start seminar featuring top presenters in our industries who will be talking about the growth opportunities and struggles both industries may carry. This is real-life education about what to expect after graduation and some topics that never get covered in school. All of this is happening at the beautiful Sheraton on the Falls Conference Center and Casino. Room rates are $139 to $179 a night for up to 4 people in a room, but space is limited, so please make your reservations now. Also, Annex Publishing is printing the Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference event program in Massage Therapy Canada and Canadian Chiropractor magazines. These will be given out at the conference and distributed throughout Canada to magazine subscribers. So if you are a vendor or educator who's listening in today and you'd like to get some great exposure for your class or product, please contact Christine Livingstone at Annex Publishing. Now, if you're ready to register for the 2012 Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and of course to meet Laura, myself, and the other amazing speakers and instructors, there are now 2 ways to do so. First, you may register online and pick your courses instantly on the official conference websites at CanadianMassageConference.com or CanadianChiropracticConference.com, depending on your discipline. You may also register by phone. The call is free, and operators are waiting to speak with you at 877-681-5578. That's 877-681-5578. We also invite you to stay connected with us on Facebook at facebook.com/Canadian Massage Conference and /Canadian Chiropractic Conference. Again, the 2012 Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference is made possible by all of our wonderful sponsors. Thank you so much to the Vitality Depot, Lackner McClellan Insurance, New York Chiropractic College, the Registered Massage Therapists Association of Ontario, Massage Therapy Canada, and Canadian Chiropractor magazines, Biotone, Massage Warehouse, Bon Vital, MPA Media, Family Massage Therapy, the DCCE, Performance Health, and Smile Dog Remote Reception Services. This is Felicia Brown, and on behalf of everyone from the Canadian Massage and Chiropractic Conference and One Concept Radio, I want to thank you for listening to this edition of the pre-conference broadcast series. Please remember to watch for more interviews between now and October 14th, and to visit our websites and Facebook pages for replays of all the interviews in this series. We look forward to seeing you in Niagara Falls in October. Please also consider joining us for the American Massage, Chiropractic, and Acupuncture Conferences, May 17th through 19th, 2013 in Atlanta, Georgia, and September 13th through 15th, 2013 in San Diego, California. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a fabulous day.